Hi, I'm a little bit nervous about this, and I've already been kind of like staring at the camera for a while, trying to get the right angle and like switching my sweater 5 times. So this is a bit of a challenge for me to like get okay with not being perfect, which is a big problem for me. I have a lot of anxiety around the subject. I'm very hard on myself. But I was inspired by a lot of people yesterday at a spoken word poetry event who very bravely spoke about a lot of very vulnerable material. And this poem is actually something that I kind of promised myself I would eventually perform because I've always wanted to be in that scene. And my idea was that I would do that once I was feeling better, when I was well again. So this is actually about anxiety, and I wrote it when I was absolutely sinking. About a year ago. I was in a new job, wasn't working out so well. I could barely get myself there every day. I used to dream and vision myself falling down the stairs and breaking an ankle. Like that was an amazing thing because I would get to not go and deal with it. And I don't want to blame that on any circumstances because it really was that I wasn't mentally well at that point in time. And I think that we should talk about these things candidly because it is so normal to be mentally unwell. And I am in social work school now, feeling much better, and I fought my way back from that. And when I wrote this, I had an inkling of hope and a lot of determination to get to that point. But if I want to be an advocate for mental health, if I want to normalize mental illness or mental unwellness, which is a state that everyone falls into at certain points, I need to be able to admit my struggle. And this is my brain when my anxiety disorder or my tendency towards anxiety takes over, but also with hope and evidence that you can come out of that with treatment, with self-care, with some coping strategies, with a little bit of travel and things that make you feel like yourself. So this is called the Anxiety Tightrope. My dog is staring at me awkwardly from below me, so he's making me a little self-conscious, and I'm going to just talk through it when I screw up, if you are even still with me, because I've been blabbing as I do. Okay. You can do it. The empty words that I tell myself, night after night, to drag myself up from the pit of the anxious spiral that is winding downward and downward in my mind, thinking of how tomorrow must be a success. Must be a success. Must be a success, or else I am lost. Lost more than the rest of them who say they will do things and do them. Worse than I want from myself, and worse than all of the things that I need to be, because if I am not those things, then I am failure. I am failure incarnate, failure itself. The girl who sees and believes and makes things happen until she gets there, and delicately, oh so delicately, places one foot onto the high tightrope, always looking down as she wobbles and wobbles, her eyes always on the ground, a ground that is so far away but so quickly reached in that inevitable fall where the pain won't be small because she'll know as she lies there that she would have been fine if only she had not taken the leap. Are you still there? My mind has lived 5 days of thought in one breath, and I'm clinging onto the wall as my lifeline without ever having lifted that second foot. My stomach feels hollow, and my heart has been beating like a drum that I can hear louder than your words as you give me tasks that I don't understand because they're jumbled under the garble that is my mind, as my mind tells me that no, I will not be fine. What's that? I speak and sound dumb, because dumb is what I can make out under the drum as it beats with worry over nothing, worry over something, worry that the next day when I will come here and stand here paralyzed and wobbly as I slowly move forward with shaking bones and rattled words. And that ground starts to look more safe. A familiar place, a sanctuary, that will keep me away from here, for here's everything that I fear, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it to walk that line when I'm having this kind of a time. I look down and I see that to jump for me might mean sustaining a minor injury, but that injury will be mine. Will give me a lapse in time where I can avoid the mess that is my mind, where I can sit at home and whine about the time that I almost made it. I don't want to be one for the almost, but one for the, hey, look at me. as I sit there and admire the efforts of my climb, where I enter a place and know I'll be fine and know full well that what's in my mind is smart, is valid, will make a difference. But those words are stifled beneath my lips. I ramble nothing but gibberish, just trying to keep up with my mind, which is trapped on a hamster wheel this time that won't go away. I tell it to leave, but it always just stays. But when it does, I'll look you straight in the eye and say, hey, look at me. It was me that did the impossible math. My muscles stopped that wheel in its wrath, and my shaking legs kept moving on that path, and my body stayed here for the fight when everything in it screamed flight, flight, flight. And I will have earned it better than most, because my body doesn't know how to coast. It knows stress and screams and sleepless nights. It knows rants and endless fights. It knows harder work than you've done in your life, or what I feel from a single task is an amount of stress that would make you laugh. But we're not laughing. We're not laughing because I still got here. I got here when all I could feel is the fear. And the fear will return. But when it does, I will look it in the eye and I will face it. Until then, while my mind's not steady, and it wasn't, my shaking foot is ready. It's ready to step back onto the rope. It's ready to look for new ways to cope. And it's ready to just be me, and to remember that I am more than anxiety. And with that, because I'm still me, I'm going to post this, and I'm going to hide under a pillow and not look at my computer for a few hours as I freak out. So enjoy that image. Bye.